Hello. Hey, hey. Good morning. So, I've been reading from the Daily Reflections, and it's a kind of a daily book from, I believe it's published by Alcoholics Anonymous, and it is published by Alcoholics Anonymous. So every day they have a little writing from a different text in the AA literature, and then some comment about it. And yeah, for me, it's been great to read it, and I'm about 3 weeks into it with you guys, and hopefully it has some value for those that are listening. And thanks for tuning in. I also put this on my YouTube channel. Love it if you go there and subscribe. Put lots of videos there actually, and it's kind of my way of putting the message out. And yeah. So the reading today is from page 63 of the Big Book, and it says it's a part of the third step prayer. It's one line out of the third step prayer. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. And it's a beautiful prayer. That's a small part of it, and I'm sure we'll share this prayer. It's really a beautiful prayer. So the comment on it in this text today is, many times in my alcoholic state I drank to establish a bond between myself and others, but I succeeded only in establishing the bondage of alcoholic loneliness. If you're an addict or an alcoholic, you know that loneliness, that separateness. You know that. Through the AA way of life, I have received the gift of bonding with those who were there before me, and those who are there now, and those who are yet to come. I have received the gift of bonding. For this gracious gift from God, I am forever grateful. It's an interesting. I'm just going to share something. Uh, today I had somebody call me, and and the person shared with me that they felt that some of their family struggled with the 12-step um, program because of the use of the word God, or the idea of God. And I can relate. I really can. Although when I came into AA, if you had asked me, did I believe in God, I would have said, oh yeah, yeah, sure. But I had no idea. I really didn't. I was more of a hope than a belief, and but I didn't have a consciousness of this experience, and so I spent a lot of years in the recovery program, searching, if you will, for this relationship, because the 12-step program isn't about a belief. It's about a consciousness or a relationship with this thing that we can't really describe. And at any way, it happened for me. This awakening, this relationship, this spiritual, more than a spiritual experience, but a spiritual awakening. And so now when I share with people, I don't really care if they believe in God. My goal is to help them have an experience of something that's, greater than them, something um, that becomes real for them. So it's not a belief in some kind of an idea, and but an experience of that. And there's many paths to that. Eckhart Tolle talks about the power of now, and so when we, through meditation, being present we experience this thing that can't be described. What are you doing? My dogs are running around like maybe there's a deer in the next yard. We get deer here quite a bit. So yeah, so my job is to help with the experience. People want to have the experience. What is this thing? And it can only be found in this moment, in the now. It can't be found in the past. Can't be found in the future. And it doesn't matter to me what you call it. You know, I call it consciousness or universal intelligence or love. Call it lots of different things. And the idea of calling it God, once I got over my old ideas of that, my old prejudices of that, you know, I can use that word and it works for me. So if you struggle with that, you know, with that, an old concept or an old prejudice or an old belief you had around the word of God, let's talk about that. You know, I do my Monday night meditations and here at the house and also on Zoom starting up pretty soon. I think on the 4th of September we're going to do the meditations and it'll be on Zoom. And we deal with that. We help people get into the experience of now. And in this moment is an expanded world that you know, as we practice being present through meditation, and even prayer brings us into the moment, you know, as we practice, it's this reality of it is amazing. It's like, oh my God, no pun intended. And so we do that at the meditation group. And I've got a big book study coming up. And in this study, you know, you'd be surprised if you actually take some time to learn what's in the 12-step program. You know, Bill said it, you know, may you find him now, in the here and now. Deep down within inside every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea. Where do we find this relationship with this higher power? But in the now and within us. And it's not an outside deal. It's not a belief in something separate. So, and the whole thing about the 12-step program is to bring us in relationship with that. Not a belief, but a relationship. So that's the freedom, baby. And the Big Book Study helps us to get there. That's going to start the 1st of September. And we've got a weekend thing coming up in the middle of September, the weekend of the 15th. And there won't be a big group, but we'll be exploring, you know, this, you know, I'm calling the weekend Finding God, but it's not anything that you might have assumed, you know. It's really, where do we find that? And, you know, just look at the things that block us off from that. So we're going to do that on the weekend. And a Dads and Recovery project that I have going. It's going to be in October, a weekend workshop for dads. Got a lot going on. It's beautiful though. And then our Mexico trip, which will be like a month in Mexico, meditation and reflection and, you know, discovery. Okay, so that's the deal. Love you guys. And if you're interested in any of that stuff, talk to me. All right. And if you've got a motorcycle, we're going on a ride tomorrow. Fresh Start has their big motorcycle ride tomorrow. And I'm excited about that. Get my scooter out and hit the road with all those guys. Okay, love you.